Welcome back to the Amy McManus Show on AM 1480 WLEA. March is Women's History Month. Did you know that, Brian O'Neill?
I must have missed my calendar.
An interesting group called Culture and Media Institute decided to look back on the past year, looking at how conservative women are treated by the media. And they came up with a little top 10 list. So here's their top 10. Playboy magazine writer Guy Cimbalo had a top 10 conservative women that he would like to perform violent sexual acts against. You can imagine what was in that. It was Playboy magazine, after all. He included women on this list such as Michelle Malkin, Megyn Kelly from Fox News, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, Mary Catherine Ham, Michelle Bachmann, making various comments about their physical appearance and what he would like to do, and just real classy guy there. Rolling Stone, a guy named Matt Taibbi, also uses graphic sexual language to discredit Michelle Malkin and the Tea Party movement. He did go on about the whole teabagging term and said that we can all spend time daydreaming. Very vulgar, but it's not bad enough that these men are doing it. There's some women who did it as well, because this U.S. News and World Report's reporter named Bonnie Erb kind of defended the Rolling Stone list with a caveat. She said that he really shouldn't say things like that, except when it comes to Michelle Malkin, because she said Michelle Malkin deserves all the vulgar, misogynistic attacks she can get, unquote, she said. Keith Olbermann also compared Michelle Malkin to a mashed-up bag of meat with lipstick on it. Comedian Chuck Nice said Sarah Palin was equivalent to herpes in America. He said that on the Today Show. Nice. And this, of course, it's another woman, it's not just the men, from the Toronto Star, said that, she says, forget the Marxists. I wish the marksman would take out Michelle Malkin. I'm thinking Dick Cheney could do it. He's a good shot. Talk about promoting violence. It's not on the right. It's on the left. ABC reporter David Wright compared Sarah Palin to Barbie. He said, quote, Barbie's been an astronaut and a rock star, and some would argue she also ran for president in 2008. Rosie O'Donnell said Elizabeth Hasselbeck, because she's a conservative, is less than human. She later recanted and said she had somewhat humanized Elizabeth Hasselbeck because she was a nice person. And then, of course, we have number one, according to this organization, is David Letterman, who had his top 10 highlights of Sarah Palin's trip to New York, where he brought up things like her makeup from Bloomingdale's that makes her look like a slutty flight attendant. And, of course, he had the crude joke about her 14-year-old daughter being impregnated at Yankee Stadium. And, of course, he was pretty much forced to apologize for that. Speaking of people who love to just bash people they disagree with, Ed Schultz got on the bandwagon in September, and he calls Liz Cheney Daddy's little girl, Shooter's little girl. She holds a law degree from the University of Chicago. She served as Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Eastern Affairs, and she was also Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs. But he continued to slam her and criticize her looks and call her Shooter's little girl. Also, Ed Schultz, he's from the Ed Show there, he wants to socialize radio as well. He just said that Friday, I think, maybe Thursday. You know what's funny is the progressives are winning. We've got a progressive president, a progressive Congress. They're really cramming this stuff through. They're pushing. They've got all this transformative legislation out there. They're winning. They're winning, but people out there still just can't stand the thought of free speech. Another example of that is National Public Radio. According to Life News, they issued a memo demanding that everyone on the radio change some of their words. They will no longer use the words pro-choice or pro-life. Instead, they're going to say abortion rights advocates and abortion rights opponents. They said that being pro-something is better than being anti-something, and they feel they're going to convey each side's position better. They claim they're making a more level playing field. I'm wondering if they could come up with some other terms as well. I mean, will they say, I know they won't say pro or gun rights proponents or geez, I don't think they'd say pro unborn baby rights. I know that will never come out of their mouths. So it's interesting that again, as I've said before, we use words. We have to change words to screw up the truth. But of course, that's NPR. I don't listen to NPR. I want to close out the show today with a little quote my husband sent me. I've seen it many, many times since I was old enough really to pay attention to politics. But I think now it's supremely, supremely telling. And the quote is this: "We cannot expect the Americans to jump from capitalism to communism, but we can assist their elected leaders in giving Americans small doses of socialism until they suddenly wake up to find they have communism." Who said that? Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev in 1959. Hope to see you all down to the expo. You've been listening to the Amy McManus Show on AM 1480 WLEA. Coming up next, Brian O'Neill with Connections.